standing on a nature path on a hike that's from the Hartman Institute and the organization called Friends of the Earth Middle East. It's a joint venture of Israelis, Palestinians, and Jordanians. The idea being to kind of work cooperatively in understanding the impact of the environment and how we can improve the environment together. Below me is the Arab village of Wadi Fakin, and behind me is the Jewish settlement of Beitar Elit. And on the other side of the hill where we started, within Israeli territory itself, is the town of Tzur Hadassah. Representatives from Tzur Hadassah and Wadi Fakin are on this committee together. And it's fascinating that it's this week of the portion Devarim, in which we just started the period known as the 9 days, in which we reflect upon the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem and the reasons for that destruction, and how the idea being of civil war at the time 2,000 years ago, how people can get along together. And so here we are, not just Israelis trying to get along together and promote environmentalism, but working with the Palestinians as well for the greater good of the land. I can see no better message for this week's Parsha in the midst of reflection upon historical destruction to try to work for rebuilding and building a new life.
FOMI is the regional environmental organization. It's one of the only NGOs implementing peace building. We started working together in 1994. And today we are, as said before, we have 3 offices in Amman, Jordan, in Bethlehem, Palestine, and in Tel Aviv, Israel. And what's unique about this organization is that we focused on shared environmental resources. Not on a very local particular ones, but on issues that are shared, like the Dead Sea, like the lower Jordan River, like the mountain aquifer, which is the main water resource for both Israel and Palestine. So, in general, FOMI does a lot of advocacy. We write paper. We hold research. But in 2001, we started working also bottom up with our Good Water Neighbors project. We started working in local communities.
Wadi Fakin, the small village, 1,200 people. By the way, mostly liberal, a very liberal village compared. It's getting a little bit more religious, like it's a general tendency. Yeah, but it has a strong emphasis about education, about going to university, either Birzeit or Bethlehem University. And you can see we call it the disappearing valley, because it's kind of between 2 authorities. On one hand, the Israeli authority, it's called the local council Mate Yehuda. On this side, Tzur Hadassah. On the other side, the civil administration with Beitar Elit. And it's forgotten in between. And if you go on the main road, you have no idea that Wadi Fakin exists. If you ask most of the people in Tzur Hadassah where Wadi Fakin is, they say, what? I don't know what it is. Oh, it's an Arab village. Oh, I'm afraid to go there. So when we talk about the 2 communities, we're talking about small community in Tzur Hadassah and a larger community in Wadi Fakin. We talk about 20, maybe 30 now, hardcore activists, with another supporters of a couple of hundreds that we managed to recruit, that we have on our mailing list. But we're not talking about all of Tzur Hadassah. Okay, this is not the situation. And it's also complex in Wadi Fakin. Not everyone is working with us, has worked with us, but Abu Mazen, which is a very, he's a known figure in the village, and other people, the mayor, is with us, but also there it's complex. So we can take Wadi Fakin as an example to a lot of problems that exist in the West Bank. You can see, first of all, the construction. So we can hear the construction. You could see the latest neighborhood of Beitar Elit, which is actually almost on the terraces, the agriculture terraces. So it's obviously damaging the ability of the farmers of Wadi Fakin to produce their goods. The slopes, the huge slopes of construction, how do you call it? Waste, thank you. This is also something you could see, even how the slopes are up to the plantations of the growth. Now, we talked about this with the ministry many times. the final thing is, the law says if the slopes are inside where they're allowed to build, it's okay. But they have to fence it.